Hello there. My name is Jonathan Pogash. I am founder and owner of The Cocktail Guru. We thought it would be a great idea to have two of our best mixologists here from the team to give you a little taste, a little sampling of what we do in our virtual team building mixology classes. So without further ado, I'm going to throw it over to Mr. Darnell Hogwin.
Hey everybody, I'm Darnell Hogwin. I've been in the industry now for quite some time, and it's given me a little bit of opportunity to know some of the stuff we're going to be talking about. And today we're going to be enjoying a really delicious cocktail, a shaken cocktail. It's going to be super juicy and refreshing. That's going to be our Winter Sun Martini. This Winter Sun Martini is going to be bright, refreshing. It's going to warm us up and make us think about the beach. So the first thing we need to do is get ourselves our cocktail shaker. You can use a mason jar, anything with a lid can work just fine. This is a Boston shaker, it's 2 pieces. Small one goes in the large one. So we're gonna go ahead and make sure that we wanna work with our least expensive ingredient. Work with our cheapest ingredient. So why we do that? Well, let's think about our cocktail. We're gonna start off with our lemon juice, and then we go ahead and add in our cranberry syrup and say, oh no, I overdid it with that. That's all right, we can get rid of that. But if I start with my spirit and then I go ahead and add in my juice and overdo it with my syrup, that'd be a tragedy. And I don't think we need any more of that. So let's go ahead and make sure we take care of our spirits and take care of our pockets and work with our least expensive ingredients. So we're gonna start off with our lemon juice. I'm gonna squeeze here half of lemon. So a lemon can give you roughly anywhere from like 3/4 to even up to an ounce of juice. So we're gonna just squeeze about half a lemon here fresh into our tin. Best way to do it is using a little juice squeezer. If you don't got that, just cut them up into wedges. It'll make it easier to do it with hands. Next, we want to go ahead and use in our cheeky cranberry syrup. I'm gonna measure in 1 ounce of that. I want to fill that all the way up to the tippy top. Now you notice I'm using this funky little device. This is our jigger. Measures all of our ingredients the best way we can. If you don't have anything like that, you could always use a shot glass. They typically measure, a souvenir one kind of measures about 1.5 ounces to 2, so that'll work. We're gonna go ahead and then add in our vodka of choice. Any will do. The great thing about this recipe is that you could go ahead and use it for anything. We're gonna do 2 ounces of that. Now we're gonna give this a nice little shake. We want to shake to break up this ice, get a little water in it, get it nice and frothy. Shake is easy. If you're right-handed, left hand on the bottom, right hand up top, turn your shaker horizontal. Make that contact end to end over your shoulder and just give it a nice hard shake. After about 10-15 seconds, you can feel that tin getting colder, that ice is getting quieter. We're gonna grab ourselves a stemmed glass. We want that stem so we can keep our hot hands away from it. We're gonna strain that into the glass just like that. A little juice there. We're gonna go ahead and just garnish that with one of our dehydrated lemons. Just float that on top. Cheers. Now, oh yeah, that's delish. See, super bright, refreshing. You got all the flavors you're looking for there. And now, I think it's time for you to enjoy another delicious cocktail made by a beautiful, beautiful queen. Give it up, please, for Miss Pam Wiz.
Thank you so much, Darnell. It's hard to follow you always. But we are making totally different drinks. It's always nice to make drinks alongside you. So we've already had a shaken cocktail. That's cool. But it's important that we hone all the skills that we need to have an ultimate mixology experience at home. And that means learning how to stir something. There's nothing better than the best original stirred cocktail, which is going to be the old fashioned. And I love the old fashioned because it actually is the exact definition of a cocktail. We found that definition in 1806 in a publication where it said it was a drink that was made up of bitters, sugar, spirit, and water. When you break down those 4 components, that's exactly what you need in order to make an old fashioned. We're going to add those ingredients the same way Darnell spoke about. We're always going to start from our least expensive to the most expensive. And the reason I really love an old fashioned is because we get to make it in the glass. Yep, we don't have to get anything else dirty, just the glass that you want to put it in, because we all work very hard, and after a long day of work, don't you just want to make yourself something really nice and very easy in a glass? I don't want to do more dishes as much as you guys don't want to do more dishes. Just to know, we are going to stir this, so make sure you have something to stir with. I have a nice fancy bar spoon, but don't even worry about it. I always keep chopsticks at home to stir with. They are great devices to stir with. You can also use the back of a wooden spoon, maybe a blunt knife. Any of those will work. Okay, so let's follow along and we're gonna build this in the glass. The first ingredient we're gonna need are our bitters. I have Angostura bitters right here. If you're interested in tasting bitters, please don't put it on your palate, but I will show you a very small trick that we're going to do. So take out your hands. We wash and sanitize them all the time. I know it's okay. We're gonna put a few drops of bitters in the middle of your hand. We're gonna rub our hands together and we're gonna smell them around our nose and our mouth like this. What are you smelling? Because I'm smelling cloves and cinnamon and spice. Oh boy, like wood from the bark of a tree, which this comes from. It comes from the bark of a tree. So again, we are able to taste what bitters are going to impart into our drink merely by smelling them. And if you're still confused what bitters do, I say this. Have you ever made a batch of chocolate chip cookies without any salt in the batter? And then you bake them? They're good. They're still cookies, right? And that's just like a cocktail. Cocktail's good. It's fine. But if you add that pinch of salt into that batter, and then you make the cookies, how much better do they taste? How much more do they bind all the ingredients together? Make everything shine, makes them more cohesive. That's what bitters do. They're a binder, okay? And they make all the other ingredients really shine by giving a layer and an overtone of a flavor. Okay, it's going to amplify what we're putting in as our base spirit. And when we put bitters into our glass, we're not doing it like this. That's a cute little post that you're gonna put up saying you had a great mixology experience with the cocktail guru later. Nice pose, I love it. Really what we're gonna do is we're gonna turn this bottle over and we're gonna do something called bouncing, which is a dash, okay? A dash is going to be a bounce. So I'm gonna bounce it 3 to 4 times like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Did you all do that? You're all dashing? You're all dashing. All right, so now that we have dashed bitters into our drink, the next step is going to be our sugar. Again, bitters, sugar, spirit, water. So we're gonna be using maple syrup, very seasonal right now in the wintertime. Also, a great way that I like to impart a little bit of sweetness into the drink. It's very important that we measure things out, especially in old fashions, because too much sugar, it's gonna ruin your drink. Maple syrup is very intense, so I like to pull it back just to start with half a teaspoon. From there, you can customize it if you'd like to add an extra half a teaspoon more, but let's start there because it acts differently than a regular simple syrup. So I got my teaspoons here, love it. We are going to measure out half a teaspoon and add it into our glass. So again, just a tad bit of sweetness, but not too much to overwhelm the palate, okay? I'm gonna leave that spoon right there. Bitters, sugar, spirit is next, okay? So the original OG old fashioned is made with bourbon, but you can use any whiskey of your choice. And if you're like, I don't really like whiskey, try cognac, aged rum. Maybe you want a reposado or añejo tequila. This is your drink, okay? I'm gonna be using some bourbon. And just like Darnell, I have a jigger that's right here. But if you don't have a jigger or maybe don't even have a shot glass, you all have tablespoons. Each tablespoon is going to be a half an ounce. So you can measure out 4 tablespoons in order to measure out 2 ounces into your drink. I'm gonna put these aside though, and I'm gonna use my jigger. You can do up to 2.5 ounces into your glass if you'd like to. I'm just gonna stick with 2. I think that is a great amount to put in there. And the last step is going to be water, bitter, sugar, spirit, water. I have a philosophy, it's called, it's ice, it's nice, let's add it twice. The whole idea is to get an initial dilution into our drink. So I only add about 2 to 3 ice cubes, and just to get the initial dilution. What we're trying to do is add in dilution to our drink. Most cocktails are going to be between 1/4 to 1/3 dilution. Yep. So you added dilution into the drink you made with the martini before. That was done through a shaking motion. And here what we're doing in is something called fold in the cold. We're folding in the cold into our drink while diluting it. And this way, all the flavors blend together. And this gives us an opportunity now before we add our garnishing ice to try the drink. So now that my ice is pretty much melted, I'm going to put a few droplets on the back of my hand and taste it. It's perfect. If you want like dashes of bitters, maybe you want some more booze, maybe you want a bit more of the sweetness, add it now. If not, get out that big ice cube you've been saving in your freezer or add in some more ice cubes into your glass. Ideally, you want the wash line in your old fashioned to be about halfway up the glass. That is a perfect place for it to be. And I ask you, don't touch this ice. This ice is just to keep it cold, not to dilute it as much. But wait, there's more. How do we garnish this? You could do it with a lemon or orange peel, but because it is seasonal, it's a very fun time of the year. I love aromas and smells. And something that's cool is the fact that cinnamon will light on fire, okay? So I might have to do 2 rounds of this, but I've got a match here and you've got a cinnamon stick. We are going to smoke our glass. Cinnamon will light on fire, okay? If you put it into a flame long enough, it'll catch on fire. It's the cool part. Here we go. And when you want to smoke something, you need there to be condensation somewhere in the glass. So because we have ice in the glass and it's getting everything cold, I'm going to let this burn for a little bit. I'm going to blow it out, place it in the drink, and place a coaster or a plate on top, which is going to capture all the smoke inside. Cool, right? Don't even have to have a fancy device to do it. And let that sit for as long as you like it to capture the smoke. Again, the smoke will capture on anything that is cold in there and wet. And when you're ready to drink, voila, your smoked old fashioned. And there you go. Cheers.
Cheers.
Wow. Thank you, Pam. Thank you, Darnell. You guys are amazing. Hopefully you've enjoyed this little taste of the Cocktail Guru virtual mixology classes. Please feel free to reach out if you have any further questions. Thanks, guys. Cheers.